Hey guys, it's your boy Charlie, Fish and Grits, and it's raining. It's raining. It's raining. We got thunderstorms, but I'm not gonna waste a day. I can't do yard work. It's raining. So today I'm gonna show you guys how to make sunken treasure. Only my subscribers and viewers get this. Hey, I'm using that same glove I used yesterday to get those 2-day-old white perch out of my live well. I turned it inside out, so I get to use the clean side for lead this time. So, anyway, no kidding, guys. Safety first. I'm dealing with lead today. This is a clean glove. We'll go through some safety stuff. I'm not Safety Sally. I'm not your mama. We'll talk about the basic stuff that I know that's common sense, and then you do what you do. So don't do what I do, for goodness sakes. You won't make it very long. So, as promised, we're going to turn this trash, which is a bunch of tire weights. They're garbage. It's mixed up metals. I got them for free. I did a little clip earlier. I will include that. It's going to show you the weight. This was 6 trips, about 100 pounds of tire weights. $30.931. 137.7 pounds. That's what we start with. Now the fun part. We've got to go through this pile of junk, dirt, cigarette butts, chewing gum, bottles. Okay guys, it's raining still. When you get your hands dirty, your face always itches. So we saw the trash. That's the trash. I'm going to teach you how to turn it into treasure. This is my weight box that I keep out here in the building that I restock when I break stuff off. I pour from 2 ounce to 6 ounce bank sinkers. I pour 1 ounce to, I think that's an 8, maybe. Yep, that's an 8. Egg sinkers. And I put the inserts in them myself. I will show you guys how I do that. You decide if it's worth the effort to you. Here's some larger egg sinkers that I haven't finished processing. Well, that one's ready. It just hasn't got some of these haven't had the sprues cut off of them. There's some drop shots that I've not sorted out. This is my boat box. This is what I take on the boat with me when we go catfishing. It's heavy. It's got 8s. It's missing my 6 ounce bank sinkers because that's what we were using last, and they got just thrown in the rod box. I'm cleaning up today. I make drop shots. I make the teardrop shots and finesse drop shots. We'll go over the sizes I make of those. And here's some of our jigs that Kelly and I pour, powder coat, and put eyes on them. And we go from these little 64ths, excuse me, these are 80ths, I think, and these are 64ths, 30-second round heads, and then we start with the 30-second, I guess they would be called freestyle. We glue the eyes on and put the bait keepers on. and we use Mustad hooks. I've got we're trying different things. I've got regular round bend hooks, and I've got your whatever that other style is. We'll talk about that later. I can't think and talk. Here's some bunch of extra round heads that we pour, and here's from an 1/8 ounce to a 1/4 that we pour. So that's the what. Y'all, my girlfriend came out here. I'm kind of nervous because I don't know if she's ever seen all my stuff piled up at one spot, and so.
Well, it's okay if you need it, but what's this?
What's that?
Why is my muffin pan out here?
What muffin pan?
This muffin pan.
I haven't put it back up yet. I use it to pour lead ingots in, and I haven't put it away.
Oh, I was gonna make muffins and I put it on the table.
Oh, well, I'll clean it. I'll put it back like I always do.
What do you mean you always do?
Well, how do you think I made all this stuff?
Glad I don't eat the muffins.
You what?
I said, I'm glad I don't eat the muffins. What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with the muffins? It smells like blueberries when I pour lead.
Good Lord. Good Lord. There's something wrong with you.
All right. You're really not supposed to eat and drink while you're messing with this lead stuff. So make sure you don't. I'm drinking my coffee and holding a camera. I'm not touching, well, never mind. I touched it with my camera hand. I'll go wash my cup. I didn't touch the top. Nothing could live on the top of that cup. That thing there, gallons and gallons of black coffee. That's been hanging around with me for a while. The one thing I haven't broken yet. All right, I'll be right back with you. I gotta go wash my hands, put my gloves on, finish my coffee. Not in that order. This mess. I'm gonna put some music on. I'm gonna fast forward it. You'll see it, and you can decide for yourself if it's worth the headache. FE, it's steel. You don't want that. Just sort them out. If it's start to learn what some of these letters mean, because like all this and what they look like, 2 ounce Fe, 2 ounce Fe. That's just iron. You can save yourself a whole lot of sorting if you learn to recognize what's garbage right off the top. Now these stick-ons, that's good stuff. That's 1/4 ounce a piece lead. Look how many jig heads you can make. What? Hey, y'all believe it or not, y'all seen those idiot dogs of mine. Sadie loves fishing. Loves it. Belle don't love anything. Belle loves to sleep beside me on the couch or in the bed. That's where Belle likes to be, tucked against me. But anyway, they get so dirty. They get in the pond every time we get close to it. They're out there running round and round and round my little boat shelter here, my little shed. And I can just hear the mud hitting the side of the building. They full blown. And they both act like bath water is battery acid. They cannot stand getting a bath. They pout. They act like they just hate it. Now, if I've got the water hose trying to do something yard workish, wash a car, wash a boat, anything like that, attacking it. completely attacking it. They just love it. But time to wash them off. Hate the water hose. You got to tie them to something so you can hold them and wash them. They get in the pool to play. Sadie will get in the pool and wash her feet on command. I'll show you guys that one day. She can go wash her feet. But everybody thinks it's cute except the guy who has to clean the top step every day because it's got a 1/4 inch of mud on it from Sadie getting in the pool and washing her feet. That's life, guys. You want a dog, you want a pool. But Belle, no interest in the pool. She won't swim. She'll get in the pond in a minute, but she won't get in the pool. No. These weird pit bulls I got.
They're covered.
They're covered in mud?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter now. Damage is done. Back to work, boss. Get the lead out.
Get the lead out, babe.
Get the lead out.
Sorry.
You need the Heimlich maneuver?
Oh, God, that hurt.
Kelly's over there choking on her thoughts, y'all. Man.
Oh, that coffee went down wrong.
She like caffeine so much, she gonna, she's trying to breathe it in. Breathe it in like the fish. All right, y'all seen enough of that. I've had enough of that. I'm gonna go ahead and fire my pot up and start putting some of this in my old cast iron skillet. Not the one I cook out of. And I was just kidding before, y'all. She gave me that muffin pan after I used it the first time to make lead ingots. She gave it to me. So, the second time I used it, it was mine.
Yeah, it was.
So, I got an old Dutch oven pot that we had, and it had one of those Bakelite lids on it, one of those handles, knobs. And it broke off, dropped the thing, lid on the floor, burned the daggum linoleum, put a ring, it's still there. Put a ring in the floor too, and it's still there. But I'm just gonna heat it up in that. I got good ventilation out here. It's actually, the breeze is picking up a little bit, getting a little, ooh, wind. Yeah, it is. So I'll be right back with you, and we're gonna make more trash. One step closer into sunken treasure. We're at 19 minutes, 25 seconds. Glad we didn't burn the building down. I'm gonna change that camera angle because all that smoke and garbage right now is that you don't want to breathe that. That's gonna be grease, tire lube, tobacco spit. A open bucket in a shop is disgusting. That's disgusting. So wear your gloves. Lead might not be the biggest worry you got. So you don't want to breathe all this. I'm upwind. See, here's me over here, nice and safe. We've got a north wind today. It's cooling down. I went and grabbed my long sleeves. We're gonna come out here to the fresh air. So it's starting to cool down out here a little bit. It was pretty nice this morning and raining. Still drizzling off and on now, but the wind is switched, blowing right through my building the other way. So I'll set up so we stay upwind of that mess. So lead and water don't mix. It's you can mix them once they cool back down, and I try to keep my lead in the water at that point, but Don't fool around and get water, the possibility of water anywhere near that molten lead. It'll splash like you drop some water in chicken grease. And y'all, my subscribers probably know what chicken grease and water, now don't mix either. Bacon grease, and you frying bacon in the morning in your BVDs or the Duluth Buck Nakeds. I like them. And you get some water in that pan, woo, make you hot step. Then I do the minute shuffle like Miss Kelly was doing. So anyway, back to it. I got my leather gloves, got my long sleeves. It's a cotton sweatshirt. Don't wear your nice polyester blend, stuff like that, because this lead gets on it, it's gonna ruin it, number one. If a lot of it gets on it, it's gonna melt it to your skin. We're gonna be careful, and we're gonna stay away from a lot of it getting on anything, but there's a possibility, always a possibility, there's gonna be a splash or an accident. I keep my dogs away from this process, so keep kids away from it. Keep your drunk friends away from it. Hey guys, my girlfriend just came out here and told me that one of my subscribers sent a picture of him and his dog watching my videos on TV. And he mentioned, I'll get the dog's name and I'll show you the photo, because we checked with them and they said it was fine if we showed it. But I know something about entertaining a dog, folks. I'm talking about for real. Dogs love me. So if you got some friends with dogs, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. Go back and watch the rest of my videos. Get used to the failures. So I'm gonna show them to you. Some days I blast off, and some days I just smoke. So share it with your friends with dogs. They'll love it. Their dogs will love it. And then they can share it with their friends with dogs. Anybody you know that has a dog, just send them a quick link, and yeah, I'll be the dog whisperer part something. I don't know. There's already a dog whisperer. I don't want to be that. He gets bit a lot. Dogs really don't like that guy. So, all right, back to it. All right, guys, for real though, we appreciate that video. I'm glad that they're watching my videos. I'm glad the dog enjoys watching my videos. I enjoy making the videos with my dogs. Look, there comes one now. Old Tinkerbell. So, thanks for the video. Thanks for the pictures. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the watching, guys. Send them to me. Got any questions about anything I'm doing? You want to start doing this yourself? I'm not very good at it. Terrible at cameras, lukewarm at fishing. So, but I love to help, and I love to learn. So every video I make, I can't tell you how many talks like this I do to this camera, and nose always itches when my hands are dirty. But guys, I'm almost 50 years old. Have y'all noticed why all of a sudden, and it didn't just start, these wild eyebrow hairs, just, I can see that thing, and nobody will tell you. Nobody will tell you. I'll stare at it though. Now I'm staring at it. Are you staring at it? Don't look at my eyebrows. I got some clippers and shear them things back. Go out there, have fun, and watch my videos. I'll teach you how to be an idiot and have fun. Something's starting to happen. Let me get some liquid in the bottom. But I'll be honest with you, I'm bored. So I got other stuff to shoot. So we're gonna shoot while it's melting. It's actually starting to happen now, so I need to pay more attention to it as it goes. But here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do. All right. I got my fan blowing. It's blowing right in my face. I'm gonna try to keep most of it out of the microphone. Let's see if I can turn that guy down just a little bit. Oh, I turned it down a notch. Oh, yeah, that's better. So, what we make, how we make them. These are some of my sinkers that I showed you earlier. And these are the molds I use to make them. I use Do It molds. They're aluminum. They're, in my opinion, cheap. They're quality, good enough. You're making sinkers. But this one, let me get y'all straightened out, man. If you guys are always just not, ain't right. Right. Always not right. Where you need, oh God. See, watch your head. I told you earlier, it was low ceiling. Low ceiling. Good gracious. My, careless. Don't hurt yourself in here. Oh, I'd have to report you for trespassing. Huh, geez. Y'all, get with the program. Oh, Lord. I found them. They don't belong up there. Why didn't y'all tell me? All right, found them. All right, back to where we were. This is one of my molds, Do It mold. It's a 6 and 8 ounce egg sinker. Here's what the inside looks like. I smoke them with a candle. I just light a candle and hold it right above the flame before the first time I ever use them. And it puts soot in there, but it acts like a lubricant, and it makes the weights where they'll just come out of the mold easily instead of you having to grab them and pull them out like some of the smaller ones you just have to. But candle, that's all you need. Just blacken it up, blacken the sprues up here at the top where you pour it in. You pour it in there. And on these egg sinkers, to make the hole in the center, you need this thing. This is a copper rod with a handle. Comes with the mold. You can put it in from either end. You can put it in from between your handles. Slide it in there till it comes out. Which, no, on this one you can't. Yes, you can. My mold's closed completely, and it does stick out just a little bit, and you could pour in there, and then nearly immediately you want to go ahead and pull your handle out of the egg sinker. I prefer, I don't know which way is right, I stick it in. This is easier for me. I've got room on my pot that this thing's not hurting me. Push it all the way in if I need to. But I pour in these two holes, or one, depending on what I'm making. And then I just give this immediately. I give it a twist and a pull. About every 2 or 3 pours on this big one, I've got a rag laying there with some oil dripped on it. I just fold it over my rod, pull it through, get a little oil on it, and it just keeps working. Don't go too fast with these great big heavy sinkers. You'll start overheating your mold. You'll mess it up. You take your time. You're out there, make it something you enjoy doing and you're not in a hurry to do it. On a rainy day, at night. So that's one of my molds. I'll just show you what we have, what I use. This is my River Sinkers 6 and 5s. So this is my River Sinkers. Some people call them, see I got a little hole there. I was pouring a little hot, and I was getting a lot of shrinkage in the mold after I would pour it, and a lot of that's not pure lead. It's going to have those problems. You can live with it in one of these. So I get these little eyes they fit in my mold. It says use number 2 brass eyes. You snap the eye in. You would close your mold. It won't even fit in there cold. Pour it in there. I'll show you several different kind of ways you can pour. You can use a pot, you can use a spoon, you can use a ladle. They make ladles for pouring stuff. I'll show you. So there you go, 6s and 5s. If they had, you can make these. There's other videos online of people doing homemade molds. The juice wasn't worth the squeeze to me. I might have paid $45 for this mold. I looked for them on sale. It'll last me forever if I take care of it. It says right there, oil hinges often. Oil hinges. It's not that hard. You know, I want this stuff to last me forever. These egg sinkers, this is all Do It molds. I use all Do It. I've never tried any others. I started with these. They were cheap. I didn't know if I was going to like doing it. I have poured lead before, basic stuff. I make round balls for my black powder pistols, flintlock rifles, stuff like that. Slingshots for the kids. I've used those. Those are, I get off topic, but I'm not going to talk a lot about making bullet molds, but this is the one I use. It's a Lee. They're not expensive. It's got a sprue cutter on it, which, my goodness, if I could get a jig mold with a sprue cutter, whoo-wee. But you pour your, makes 2 round balls. You close this, makes a little funnel. You pour your lead in both of those, hit that sprue open with a little wood mallet, and this one's brand new. I haven't even used it. I made a mistake and ordered 2 of the same ones, and I didn't send it back. It cost me more money to send it back, so I just kept it. And they're not that expensive, and when I start back pouring these, I can use 2, and I can really roll it in. But anyway, that's the kind of mold I use for my ball, round balls for muskets, slingshots, whatever. All right, back to what I was talking about. This is my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ounce. That is from this guy to, where's my 5s? This guy to this guy. 1 to 5. I know I'm not wearing gloves, but I'm handling my fishing weights. Fishing is how I handle fishing weights. Before I drink, eat, touch my mouth, I'm going to go wash my hands. So, but I'm not going to keep putting rubber gloves on. So 1 to 5. They go in there. And these are kind of special because you pour 2 sides. This side and the other. Don't do them at the same time. No. You're going to get yourself in a bind and end up breaking your rod. Your rod here. So you put your pull pin, whatever they're called. It's called a pull pin. And it says, to avoid sticking, oil the metal part of this pin. Then twist and pull immediately after pouring. Pull pin, and there's a part number. They went ahead and put the part number on there. They know you're going to mess it up. But insert it in whichever side you're using. I do it from this end. It makes it easier when I'm wearing a leather glove not to have that. So anyway, and then once you pour that side, you get 1 and 2s on one side and 3, 4, 5. If you just need 1s and 2s, just need 1s, just take your time and pour one at a time. If you pour in these guys right here, go slow. Go slow. Don't overheat this. It's aluminum, and these Bakelite handles, you'll mess your mold up. You mess your mold up. Melt it. You're not in a hurry. Slow down. All right. Moving on to more river sinkers. You've seen it. Nothing special. This is the 2, 3s, and 4s. It depends on my current. If I'm bottom fishing and I'm casting in a lake, I don't need a 6-ounce sinker I got to drag back and forth every time. I can throw a 2, or, a 1 maybe. I need enough where I can get my bait out there, especially. But all right, moving on. That's the big weights that I pour. Other than my dragon weights, and I will figure out a way to share that with you guys at some point. I had to buy a book from another YouTuber to learn to make those, and I'm not going to teach his method for free. But I will once I figure out how, and if you're really interested, just message me and I can get it through to you if I don't figure out how to attach it to a video description. But I will attach his video where you can see it and buy the book. It's a Kindle book. It's like $10, and so far worth every penny to me. I've made my dragon weights and I've not lost a single one. I did lose one, but it wasn't a snag. It's the clip. Somehow my clips got tangled around each other and caused it to unclip one, and I tossed it out doing a trial run on a planer board, actually, with no bait or anything on it, just the weight, and reeled it back in, and the weight fell off. So far, and I've drug them through some of the nastiest stuff. I'll show that stuff to you guys, but so far there's not been fish. So, but the dragon weights are awesome. It's cheap to buy the book, and it's cheap to make your own, but I'll let you make that decision for yourself, or you can just buy them online. There's thousands of companies, hundreds maybe, that make them. Anyway, back to what I make. These are drop shots, and I got the Finesse, and these are not all the sizes I make. These are just kind of my surplus. And then I make the teardrop. They are made with these 2 molds. And they are pretty straightforward. All right, they're pretty straightforward. I don't have any clips over here, but these clips, I've seen other people do this and it makes it focus. I don't know if it does or not. Can you see that clip? Well, that clip is important. Stand by. Okay, this is 40-pound leader, but it's easier to see. My shirt in the background here. So these clips that I use, when we tie a drop shot on, the weight is on the bottom, and there's a length of line and a hook, whether it be artificial tied to it or a live bait hook, a worm, a cricket, whatever, and then more leader, and you can tie another one and put live bait or a tiny bait on, and then that ties to a swivel, and then we tie our main line to that, and that's how we drop shot. Our leader line is less poundage than the main line we're using. So we're using 10-pound braid that we use an 8-pound fluorocarbon leader, so we can break it if we need to. But these weights are generally Not generally. Sometimes the weight gets hung, depends on the terrain you're fishing, and sometimes the hook gets hung. It doesn't matter. The fish are in there, you got to put it in there, and you can't be scared. So these are the teardrops. Now you have a whole, that's a teardrop with a clip turned upside down. I had somebody wanting some of these. I don't like to use them because I have to tie a knot, and I'll show you why. Here's the same weight with my clip, not mine. It's they sell them on the website. The same one, it tells you what clip to use in the mold, but it's probably not going to work on this super heavy line. But you just slide the line through it and pull down, and it holds on. It holds on. Don't hit the camera with the weight. But if it gets hung, it cuts the line off and you get your rig back. You don't lose it all. You get back to fishing real quick because it only cut off whatever tag end you had sticking out, and you just grab another one out of your toolbox, tackle box, and it didn't cut this line, it actually slipped off of it. It'll cut normal panfish size line. But look at there, you just grab another weight, clip it on to your whatever length leader. Now, if that's important, if you need to keep moving that to adjust for your depth to find where the fish are biting, leave a long pigtail on there and start at a foot, and you'll keep your bait at a foot the entire time. You don't just fish under a bobber where you're only in the prime location for a small period. You either throw it too shallow and it lays on the bottom, and then you go through a good zone, you've already got slime on it, and then you come through the dead water zone that drops off where the fish don't hang. But with a drop shot, you set a foot between your hook and your weight. You throw it in the shallows, well, your bait's going to be a foot off the bottom. It might be out of the water until you get it, or manipulate your rod, but as you work it through the water column, that weight drags on the bottom, your bait stays right where you need it, and the fish are going to be generally located somewhere on the bottom between 0 and forever. It's your job to just put hours in to find them. But that's what a drop shot is. The eggs, teardrop ones, give you better feel for the bottom. They give you, you want to feel the bottom to see what you're into. They hold better in the wind. When you got a big loop in your line, that wind's trying to blow it, they'll hold a little better and you get more sensitivity. The finesse ones, though, they can. If you get a nice calm day, or fish that are a little more spooky, weeds, a lot of weeds, which we have in our lakes and ponds, these are going to work through that better for you than this big chunky monkey. But the mold, I don't know the price, $45, $55, somewhere in that range. Go buy some of these. And you'll see, because these were purchased before I started this from Walmart. Bag of 4 and 5 of these is going to cost you a few bucks. And you've got to tie that on every time. So when he hangs on the bottom, you're breaking at your weakest point, which is probably going to be above your hook. You're going to lose it all every time. The clock right now is 1 hour and 6 minutes. I just checked on that smoking nasty pot down there, and it's getting there. This fan blowing is not helping it go, but you didn't come here just to watch me melt a pot of lead. You came here to watch me run my mouth about other interesting things that may be useful to you. So, back to what we were saying before my battery died. You buy these at Walmart. Go ahead and get you a couple packs if you need to get you started. But look online and see if you can buy them somewhere else that have these clips and try them out. I was skeptical. I bought 100 clips the first pack, and then after my first pour and trying them, I went back and bought 1,000, and You go through them pretty fast. But I don't want to have to come home every week or having a great week of fishing where I broke a lot. If you have good fishing, you're going to be breaking stuff off. You're going to be in that. And I love the lightweight rigs. I like ultralights, lights. My heaviest rod on the boat, generally when we're fishing for whatever, is going to be a medium spinning rod. It's a crappie stick. That's the heaviest rod I have, is a medium crappie stick, or medium, maybe medium light, whatever they are, the lightest one they have. So I like to pull, I like to fight. I don't have to catch a 40-pound fish to fight. I can catch good bluegill on my ultralight with 2-pound test line, and I'm in heaven, guys. I'm in heaven. So when I get better at that crappie thing, you'll see more crappie. I'm going to keep trying them, but I'm not going to spend every single day riding around going bug-eyed, staring at a screen, trying to be a master at a fish that I just started fishing for just a few weeks ago. So I'm going to keep trying them. Every time I go out, I look for them. I check the places they're supposed to be, and I hit a few spots, I give it a real good effort, and if I'm getting just beat up skunked, I'm going to move on to something else to get skunked at. But I'm trying to make something interesting, and I'm trying to go out there and catch fish and have fun also. So, a few more. That one's got the round eye. I've got a pile of them that have the so anyway, I got a lot of those already made. But it's the hardest thing to do is get the pot hot and get the lead, and my plug-in pot doesn't take this long once you get the lead cleaned up and ready. So, but this is part of the work. I know you guys are probably see me, I'm using split shot on just about everything I'm fishing. There's split shot. Number one, because it's always windy, I want to get my bait down and to a depth that it's precision. It's not just random for us. I'm moving those bobber stoppers. I'm looking at the fish if I can find them on my sonar. I'm trying to put the bait right where a fish needs it. If it's a crappie, I'm trying to keep it above them. Bluegill, different. They'll feed up or down, but if they're sluggish, I got to put it right in their face. So where'd I catch that last fish? How'd I have it set? I'm going to put my other people, whoever else is in the boat, my other rod. I've seen me. I fish with as many as I can until I catch fish. I'm going to start moving them to try to follow that. So, all right, start with another camera here. SD card full. That is not a problem that you don't want. SD card full. You panic a little bit, but that means it's full of fishing stuff. And I got my computer full of fishing stuff. And Miss Kelly bought me a new computer for our 25th anniversary. It's for us, but it was taking me about 10 hours to upload a video after I edited it, and then another couple of hours to get it onto YouTube. I had an old computer and it was just slow. Didn't know how slow it was until I started doing this, and I just thought this stuff was just slow and hard. I was like, oh, this is going to be a pain in the butt. Every night I'm having to edit and get something downloaded before I go to bed. And then get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and try to get that video started downloading on YouTube before I went to bed. So, oh man, what a mess. New computer. We put a video on there. It uploaded in like 6 minutes. 6 minutes. You know how much more time that gives me to fish? Could be doing yard work, but God. Split shot. Split shot. Y'all know what split shot are. Charlie, don't talk about split shot. We know everything we need to know about split shot. I use a lot of split shot. Bait presentation. If I'm looking at fish and if I got all this stuff, electronics and all that, and I'm trying to see them, I'm on a precision placement of my bait, and I'm always fishing in the wind, and that split shot makes me it even helps me using a large split shot, and I like the ones with the wings on them because they're supposed to be removable. We'll talk reusable, yeah, my butt. You crimp them on, you can tell it almost gives up a little bit when you crimp it on, and it'll slip and slide, and by the time you squeeze that thing hard enough to get it to stay on that lightweight thin line, 4 pounds, I'm usually putting it on 8-pound fluorocarbon. They're garbage. They're garbage. Not necessarily this brand, all brands. Maybe not all brands that I've tried. If you've got a split shot that you say, man, that thing's made of that pure lead like it used to be back in the day when you could crank it on with your teeth and keep on fishing. Then I got the ones back in the day that had those little reusable wings. You could pinch them with your front teeth and open them back up and adjust your catfish worm on your cane pole. Put that thing back out there. But they're garbage. I don't know what they're making them out of. Probably tire weights like I'm using, but they just don't hold up. So, Kelly, oh, here's my girlfriend. Don't tell her. But I'm probably gonna get me a split shot mold and use some of my pure lead that I have to make my own split shot. And that way they'll quit breaking in the bottom of my boat being covered in half split shots laying everywhere. And they fall down in my cup holders and get in there and rattle all the way to the back. So, if you got some that you like, these are getting me by. I'm fishing, but I'm going through them like crazy. So, these are going to be next. She busted me talking about getting a split shot mold.
I don't care about it, whatever you need.
She likes her fishing guide to have all the best stuff.
That's right. That's right.
Speaking of the best stuff, oh my, this is what I've spent the most time on. Oh my. You say, Charlie, why do you need all that? You should have saw it a month ago. You should have saw it a month ago. It was had a lot more in it. So, oh my. So, yeah, I spent a lot of time. Oh, get up. Alright, y'all see me now? Told you, your face always itches when you're doing this stuff. First, we're going to talk about round head. My glasses are wrong. Go. My melon. Round head jigs. Let me show you a pretty one. As far as round. That one felt like a flu shot. Good heavens. Round head jigs. That was I put a little. He got a little bump on him where I put him in 2 colors. I was practicing, guys. Some of these are some of my first ones. Round. I figured it out. Figured out how to make those little 2-tone. Now, these are more for the fishermen than they are for the fish. I was just goofing. I was talking about why not add some of that. All I did was I dip it in one powder coat, and then I take a small little art paintbrush, dip that in another powder coat color, and just tap it right over it, and then just wave it in front of my heat gun. I'll make a video showing you guys how to powder coat. If that's what you guys want to learn how to do, I'll show you my rig. I made my own air beds. I did it all. I spent days and days and days and days powder coating. I'll pick some of my bigger. That one's sharp too. These will be easier to see. But these are a couple of the bigger ones that I make. I glue the eyes on. We put 2 coats of Sally Hansen Hard as Nails over it after I super glue every eye on. And you see they got the bait keeper. I can get my shirt in the background, maybe you guys can see it. They got a little bait keeper right here. That helps a lot when you're trying to throw a rubber bait, plastic, soft plastic. When you're trying to throw them hard and they're getting nipped at by small fish. Y'all know, these fish are picky. If that thing gets pulled back a little bit and like on a round head, the round heads that I poured, they don't have anything. If the fish are really biting well and they're down in the stuff, this is what I'm using. They're easy to make and I can roll through them. If I'm casting and maybe hunting and they're not biting and I'm trying to put my best presentation I can out there, then I'm going with this guy. Or a similar color. I make, well, you saw how many colors I make. Even, you don't have to make colors at all. Look at this guy. He's pretty, ain't he? I'm talking about the jig. This guy. Look at here. So that's just lead. I do coat it with Sally Hansen Hard as Nails fingernail polish. I go through a lot of that stuff because I don't want it to tarnish in my box, turn white and all that. So, or get chalky and ugly. So I did buy the Plano Edge boxes. They seem expensive when you're looking at them, but when you put that many baits in the boat, and these boxes keep them dry, keep them from getting rusted. I set them out on my decks when I'm fishing, because the wet hands, fish splash, they get water in them sometimes. But you close those lids and you see it sweating in there a little bit, and just open the lid back up, and in a minute it's dry. They come with these little water wick cartridges. I imagine they might help absorb some. But anyway, enough talk about that. Round head jigs. It's a Do It mold. Do It doesn't sponsor me. I buy every one of them through wherever I can find them. This one has 1/80th, 1/64th, 1/32nd, 1/16th, 1/8th, and 1/4, and it tells you what size hooks you need. So, but it's one of each. So when I'm throwing those little Gulp Alive and those little tiny baits, they actually work best on a 64th jig. They fit it best. They don't tear up so bad when you catch a couple fish. You can put a 32nd on there and get a little better casting. That's why I use the 2-pound test line and that really ultra lightweight rod, because I like to throw that really small, bait. Oh my, they went everywhere. This is it. You see that? You see that little guy? So that's what I'm using. So you really need a lightweight rod and really a good rod, and don't get a small reel. I learned my lesson. I've already switched that out. This mold, since they are so small, it's hard, unlike the big sinkers, it's hard to keep this mold warm enough. By the time you handle all these little tiny hooks and put them all in there and gently close it and figure out that one of them's not right, and you open it and move the one you think, and you close it and no, and you open it and you move the other one you think and you close it and no, and then you look at them real careful and it still looks perfect, and you close it and it works. By the time you do all that, this baby's cold. Especially shaky his hands in the east here. It's got a screw hole in the bottom. It makes an ingot right here. finger's dirty. That's the wax. That's the candle soot. But so when I set it on top of the mold while I'm using another teeny tiny. When I'm pouring it, I set this on top of my pot and keep it hot. And then I'll go ahead and put the hooks in it, put it on top of the pot, let it warm up while I'm dealing with the other mold. And then while this is pre-warming, I flip it, fill the bottom hole, let it sit for a second again, let it heat that aluminum up. Then I flip it over and pour whichever one that I wanted here, which is usually I put a hook in the two I want, and then I get it turned around and poured into the other two, and then I open it and a lead head falls out, and a lead head falls out, and a hook falls out, and a hook falls out. So this is a kids show, so I can't tell you all that stuff, man. Whoa, whew, that make you lose your religion. But anyway, I just fill them all up now. Put a hook in every one. If it don't click when you close it, it's not closed. If you pour and it's not closed, you will have some ugly jig heads. All right, that was my round jig heads. I got one here that goes, half of it is 16th and half of it is 1/8. 4 and 4, I think. Make sure I got my fish and grits math on. 4 and 4 also has a heat up sprue in the bottom of it. That's the two I typically use. The teeny tiny one, 16th and an 1/8. This is my freestyle mold. This is the one for the eyes on it. It's getting old, I know. So anyway, you have to put your little teeny tiny bait keeper in there, which looks like a half of a used staple. And then your hook, and they lay down beside each other. Oh my goodness. Kelly laughs at me. She says it sounds like Morse code. If I got any younger viewers, y'all have to Google what Morse code is. But it sounds like I'm sending Morse code with my tweezers, trying to get those hooks in. So, give it a try. You think it's funny? Huh? You think it's funny? Give it a try. That's the freestyles. More freestyles. This one goes, you see it, assorted sizes. There's the numbers. Let's see, this one goes from 1/32, 16th, 3/32, 8th, 5/32, and 3/16. When I first started, I thought I needed 100 of all these. Now I've been giving them away to people that want them. I poured a 32nd, the 16th, the 8th, and that's all I use out of this mold. If I need to jump up over an 8th, I'm gonna go to a 1/4. That's just the way it is. I'm talking about you're fighting wind, current, or you're trying to get it down deep faster. So I don't want to mess around with every 16th. Imagine how heavy my tackle boxes would be then. So you've seen what I use. This is gonna be a long video if you guys want to see all the process. So once I get some lead processed, I'm going to start switching it over to my pot, and I will show you. I'll pour a couple of these and show you the process. I'll do some egg sinkers, some bank sinkers, something where I don't have to sit out here and mess with those little teeny tiny hooks. But I'll show you the bait keepers and the hooks, so you'll see what you're up against if you want to try this. So stick around. Hour and a half mark. I'm gonna glove up and get my spoon and go stir that thing around and see what it looks like. I'll let y'all see. All right, told ya I'd be back. We're still clocking. Hour and a half. And guys, this is not the best burner. I mean, this thing is old. It's not in the best shape. You could get a better burner and probably be done with this already. But let's see what we got. Look at there, starting to melt. This process gets faster as you get a pot of melted lead. Oh my. I got I have a great firm grip on this camera, huh? You can't do anything with gloves on. Oh my goodness, you can't do anything with gloves on. So, look at there. That looks weird, don't it? That stuff you see there, some of that might not melt. All this metal and steel, like my spoon, it's not gonna melt. And I didn't get it all. I didn't get it all, guys. I spent enough time doing it that I did as long as I was going to. But this is a simple solution. I'm just gonna melt it, and then I'm gonna start scooping some of this garbage out. And as I get a pot of lead, I'm just gonna add more. Not quite so much. You gotta get a good roux. Y'all know about making gravy. You gotta get a good roux. You gotta get something down in there. And then once we do, look at there. Oh yeah. See, this is steel. It ain't gonna melt. Let me go get me a metal bucket, and we'll start sorting. We'll start sorting some of this mess out. Hey guys, I'm back. I got my bucket. Now, Jack Daniels does not sponsor me. There may have been a point in my life I sponsored them, but they don't. Oh, we're ending that relationship slowly but surely. But it says, eat and drink responsibly. Not while you're pouring lead with Charlie. We're not gonna be eating and drinking. We're gonna figure out this mess. All right. So here we go. Y'all pay attention. I tell y'all what. Now I saw somebody had one of them Tupperware type bowls, the snap-on lid. That the lid was actually a cutting board. The lid was a cutting board. See there? Y'all, some of that stuff don't melt. I'm talking about, if I can see the numbers on it. Oh, yeah, I can. It says FE. That's steel. Yep, steel don't melt. I didn't get them all. I'm not going to sit there and rub all that grease off of every one of them. Look, you don't have to. But you see that if I had left that other pile that I easily picked out, my pot would have just been full. And it's tire weights. It ain't perfect, but all that stuff there look tasty. And don't that stuff there don't melt. It floats. That dirt. See that dirt floating on top of there? Daggone dirt. Dirty dough. We'll get it out. I'll show you how. Look at there. It ain't perfect. Y'all, that thing's still recording. Y'all pay attention here. Give me that phone. Give me that thing. No, it always itches. What happened here? It's still recording? Oh, it is still recording. I got a family full of teachers. Good ones. Real good ones. All teachers, they special. But my teachers and my family, generations of teachers in my family, all good ones. I mean, the creme de la creme. And I'll take some of those teachers fishing at some point and let you meet some of those grits. But I bet they cringe. Just shudder hearing me talk, don't they? If I was Poindexter, I know my glasses make me look all smart, and I'm some dumb, but I ain't plumb dumb. But if y'all wouldn't want to watch that. Y'all wouldn't want to watch Bill Nye the Science Guy teach you about melting lead. No, you want to watch Charlie with Fish and Grits. Because I'm Charlie with Fish and Grits. So, y'all, be nice to me at Christmas. I won't tell them who you are. If you tell them who you are, now see, You took that on yourself. Oh my, we got our lead too hot. Look. Look at there. We got our lead too hot. We don't want to burn it up. Burn it up. Look at that. Now you're gonna keep getting this on your lead after you get it all clean. It's just, and today is going to be really bad because of the the moisture in the air. It's causing that. And if I'm wrong, guys. But it's just oxidizing on top. You can scrape this off and scrape it off until you ain't got a single thing left in your bucket. So we're gonna put some more in there. Oh my goodness, that thing's heavy. It hurts my back. What is this? We're gonna be careful too. We're gonna be careful. My mama watches these videos, y'all. She'd go over there freaking out if she thought I was gonna get hurt. I'm a mama's boy. Y'all like to barter, trade? I like to barter and trade a lot. You feel like you're trading up. Another person feels like they're trading up. It's just the perfect transaction system. You know, you're only going to accept what's acceptable to you. You don't get the shear them every time. You don't get the skin them every time. But you always feel like you come out on the best end of a barter, no matter what. Or don't do it. That's just kind of trade. You know, that's unless you're desperate and you're having to give up something you don't want to give up. But desperate times call for desperate measures. But anyway, that's not why I'm talking about this. Unless you have a screen printing machine and you are desperate for sinkers or lead ingots, we could trade. I need some shirts. Y'all know I need some fish and grit shirts. Got 'em. You know I need it. I need some stickers too. I gotta get my logo, stick it on my boat, put it on maybe put it on my motor. And I really like my motor. If you got a machine that makes stuff, if you practiced and you're good at making your stuff, and you want to trade some really high quality screen printing, and I don't care how the barter works. If I got to give boot, you got to give boot. We'll see what it's worth to us. We'll work it out. I like trading, but I need some shirts. I'm going to need some stickers. Man, if I had me a fish and grits hat, look at that. That says Black Sheep Mafia. If I had me pay attention. If I had me some fish and grits hats and shirts. Maybe get me some hoodies one day. Big time, big time. If either one of you two viewers that are left with me have those abilities, hit me up. What you need, what I got, what you got. See ya. All right, guys. Or guy, or girl, or maybe just somebody's dog is still sitting on the couch watching. I'm with you, dog. You my dog. Anyway, we are at 2 hours, 35 minutes. I have got our 100-pound bucket of lead processed. I am struggling to keep my pot warm. The wind just blowing in here, and when the wind's not blowing, I gotta have the fan running when I'm in here. So, but we've got all of the stuff that has a higher melting point than lead is out. So that's pretty much the only way I know to explain it. So that magic beeswax has made this pure. I wonder if I could put some minnows in there and some fish oil and make my jigs and my weights taste like fish. Hey, pay attention. All right, is this thing still on? What in the world? Oh, it is still on. It does that to me. I got a setting screwed up on this camera or something. It looks like about 5 minutes, 6 minutes, it cuts the screen off. And I don't know if I'm just jabbering on and nobody's listening. Well, I probably am jabbering on and nobody's listening. I want to make sure somebody's dog has the opportunity to listen. So, I don't know what the beeswax did. Look at that shiny in it. I'm going to let it smoke for a minute. I'm going to get Miss Kelly's muffin pan. And I'm going to get my ladle. And we're going to do the final refining process that I do is turn this into ingots that I can use later to put in my pouring pot, which I'll show you. And stick around. Okay, guys, I'm back with you real quick. Guy, dog, just random playing TV, baby in the crib, sleeping, learning to talk like Charlie. So, just wanted to show you guys some simple stuff. Here's my ladle that I started pouring with. Get it cleaned off. This is it. Looks kind of funky, doesn't it? But you can just scoop lead out and it pours out of this little hole. And I've got one of my freestyle jig molds. It's not warmed up. We're just going to give you a demonstration that if you don't, you can pull right from here. You can make sinkers. Matter of fact, that might. Let me find a sink. I don't have pliers. I don't know if I'll be able to get them out because I'm not going to put the rings and everything in them. But here's my sinker mold, and here's a cheap ladle, and you got a pot of good lead mixture. There. Pour that in there. Don't let your ladle get too cool, because it won't flow well in your mold. Yeah, look at there. Look at there. I poured that one too cold. I'm struggling keeping my lead hot out here because I've got a lot of lead in this pot here. So, but folks, I told you that when my lead was starting to get cooled down with the wind blowing my mold. But look at her. I could probably pour another set now and they would be perfect. And you can always pour a few in like this to heat your mold up and not put the eyes in them and mess them up. So, there it is. There it is. I'm not going to try to drop them back in that pot, and I'm not going to let that stuff ain't going to splash me. So, but with gloves on, you can pop them right out of your mold. You're not going to hold them very long. But you squeeze that mold closed, and the wind started picking up right when I started. With a smaller pot that was hotter and less wind and a better cooker, this is all you need. This is all you need. Still, I'm too cold. My lead's a little too cold for what I'm trying to do here. That's a big pour for those. Now, you really gonna have to get your lead hot and your mold hot, but that's all it is to it. I got two really good 2-ounce sinkers without eyes on them. So it's that simple. It's that simple. There's a freestyle jig mold. It's not warmed up. It's not going to get good results. Terrible results. If my lead got colder, it wouldn't even flow in there. But you see what I got. Get those out of there. If I was just pouring that small one, you might have to do that if you're hand pouring. One at a time. I can put this thing right under the spout on my pour pot, and I'm getting the hottest lead off the bottom of the pot all the time, and not quite the case. Be careful. I'm actually being a little careless there, dumping too much back in, and it'll get splashed on me. So, let it cool for a second. We got, that one would have formed up, those two would have formed up. So all you gotta do is warm your mold up. If you're having problems with deformed heads, something's not right. Your lead's not warm enough, your mold's not warm enough, you're spending too much time putting hooks in. If you can't, it takes practice. If you can't get all 6, 8 of those hooks in time for your mold, then once you do get them in, set that thing up on top of your pot and heat it. Another trick that I saw another YouTuber use is once he had his hooks in, now don't pour it on your handles. You pour that on there. Now I'm gonna move it before I turn it over in case it falls off. I didn't want it to fall in my pot. There's nothing on the bottom. That bottom is just, oh, that's off my spoon. Dirty spoon. Beeswax on it. It's probably making that lead 10 times as pure. It's like Dove soap or Ivory soap. One of them soaps, 99. Woo, woo, hot. See? Don't do that. Don't press it against the side of the thing. Not towards you. Almost got me. Be careful, folks. I was talking to y'all, got distracted. Don't get distracted. We'll do a segment on pouring molds out of my pot. Something better. Miss Kelly wants me to go to Walmart and the grocery store, so I gotta get this show on the road. Alright, here's what we got. You see it, right? Wait a minute. I bet it's been 5 minutes. There's the camera. There's the camera. There's the lid. And there's the muffin pan. I hate to bore you all with the details, but I'm showing you the steps. Get you about a half a ladle full. Don't be careless. I like to pour mine about half full, and I'll tell you why. You can pour them as heavy as you want to, but when I'm adding them to my pot, I don't want to add a full-size muffin ingot to my pot and it cool my pot down too much. And because when you're pouring big lead, half, 8-ounce sinkers, and my pot only holds 20 pounds, and you don't put 20 pounds in it. It's probably 10 pounds or a little more in it. That's every 2 weights is a pound, and so you're adding lead, and if your ingots are real big, you're gonna be sitting there waiting on the pot to heat back up. All right, you see it?
I didn't want to be downwind of it. See it? You see it?
Smells like blueberries.
Not really.
Three hours of cooking. Don't stand on them, they'll melt your boots. 3 hours of cooking, and you'll see if it's worth it. There's Maggie. She's looking for Kelly. She's not out here, Maggie. Just us grits. Alright. Oh Lord, let me put my glove back on. That thing probably hot. Woo-wee hot. Well, you see what I got? I'm getting down to the end. Little trash left on there. Huh. I promise to teach you. I'm gonna let those cool. I'm gonna put them in a bucket. I'm gonna get my scale, turn all this stuff off, let it get cool, and I will be back with you in just a minute, and we'll see what kind of progress we made. Now we play hot potato. Live action. Oh no. 0. Oh, now it's on kilogram. $59.5 pounds. That's a whole bunch of 64th and 80 ounce jig heads. Ooh-wee. But that's only 120 8-ounce egg sinkers. And man, you dragging that mess through, you might lose. So look at the price. Choose your own level of pain, as my buddy G used to tell me. You choose your own level of pain. This is my level. This got me, I got that trash. This is gonna make a whole bunch of weights, and any jig 1/16 and bigger, it makes them just fine. So why not? That's my decision on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. You saw what it took me. The clock's still running. It's 3:13:57. I don't know how much time I spent sorting the weights this morning. I videoed most of it, so you know, and you can spend as much time doing that or not doing it. I'm trying to get as much of the lightweight stuff out. The steel, it's gonna float. You don't have to pick it out. It's just more you have to deal with on that hot lead. And it cools your lead down by keep adding it in there just to clean it and take it back out. But the lightweight stuff, I don't want that stuff. I don't want it. And the bottom of the barrel there, the last of the, it's still not looking too pretty, and that's because it was probably just so hot sitting down there with that cooker running, and it's just a thin little puddle. But once this melts back down, I don't get it that hot in my pour. I get it just hot enough to pour jigs and weights with it. I don't want excess heat. So you fine tune your heat, and oh, it'll lay in there smooth. So anyway, I'm done, kinda. So this is Charlie. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned something. I hope I didn't bore you to tears. Like, subscribe. If you enjoyed it, somebody else will also. So share this video with your friends. Doesn't cost you a thing, guys.